Today I'm changing the oil on all my power equipment, and I'm coming up to the generators, and these are both of my Champion Power Equipment 9,000 watt generators. One's gasoline only and the other is dual fuel, propane or gasoline. Anyways, I'm going to get them started up, get them running here to get warmed up so I can change the oil, and turn this one on and start it. Get the propane one going. Warm up for about 5 minutes, and then I'll change the oil on them. Okay, so we've been running for about 5 minutes. The engines are nice and warm. Time to turn them off. So on this propane generator, if you hit the off switch, it does nothing when it's running in propane. I don't know if that's a miswiring, but anyways, just kill it by turning off the propane in the bottle. Alright, to drain the oil off of these, they have this nice rubber hose that's connected to the bottom of the crankcase. And if you follow it around, it's connected to this little thing on the bracket on the housing. So all you do is just grab a hold of it and pull down, and it comes right off of that housing. You be careful to keep the hose high enough that it doesn't start draining out, and you just dump it into your oil pan here and just let it drain out. So I don't know if you can see it, I got it on super macro here, but there are little tiny flecks of aluminum in the oil as it's being drained, and that indicates a little bit of engine wear. It's just interesting to see. There is no oil filter on these engines. They're not the greatest quality engines in the world, but anyways, there's something to look at when you're changing the oil. I don't know if you can really see the oil that well or not, but there's a lot of glimmer in it from the aluminum from the engine. And this engine only has about 2.5, maybe 3 hours on it. I ran it during that snowstorm we had the other day that killed the power, but this is the break-in from the break-in. So the other engine I just drained, that had about 20 hours on that oil. That's why the oil was a lot darker. But as you can see from this one, a lot of aluminum present from the engine block. So you can see that little glittery stuff in the oil there. Alright, so when you're done draining the oil, you want to make sure this hose goes back onto this bracket. You want to make sure it goes all the way up. So I clean the oil off of it so it doesn't attract dust later on when it's running, make it dirty. So I'm going to get ready to level this engine out so I can make sure the oil level is correct when I fill it back up. So I live up in the mountains up here and nothing's flat, so what I have to do now is add some shims underneath the tires, pieces of wood, and then I'll make sure this guy's level so that when I change the oil I don't underfill it or overfill it, whatever the case will be. Now we're nice and level across the generator. I'm assuming that the frame is level to the engine, but and then we're level end to end. So now I can start to add oil. Alright, so this is where you add oil and check the oil. You'll need a funnel to fill it, but I'm going to clean this up a little bit so I don't get any dirt falling into the engine while I'm unscrewing this. So, okay, let's unscrew that all the way. take it out. I'll set it down on this paper towel here so it doesn't get dirty. And we're going to stick the funnel in there. Clean the little bit of dirt off the funnel that was on there. And we're going to slowly add oil and check the level as we add it to make sure that we don't go over the full mark on the dipstick here. Alright, so an easy way to fill this up and not overfill it is you fill the oil right to the bottom of these threads, right about here on the bottom of the threads. So if you want to check it after you fill it to that level, you screw this dipstick in. But you gotta be careful with these dipsticks because it's a roughly machined aluminum, and you want to make sure that this thing is easily turning until it gets to the bottom, and then screw it all the way in. You don't want to cross thread them, because then you're going to have a hard time getting it in there in the future. But you want to check the oil level, and you should be able to see right there that glimmer from the oil shows it's just below the full mark. So I'm going to run the engine for about a minute, and then I'm going to check the oil, make sure everything looks good after I make sure this guy's seated in here good. And it keeps wanting to cross thread on me, but be careful not to do that. And we're going to start this guy up, let it run, and see. Alright, so we shut it off. I'm going to just let the oil settle down in the crankcase, and then we'll check the oil level one more time, and then we'll call it good for the day. Alright, so we let the engine set for a couple minutes here, and then we're going to just check the oil again. And let's see if we can see that in the sunlight there. I guess I should clean it off and then try it. Let me do that real quick, because it sloshed around when the engine was running, so the whole thing was covered with oil. Clean it off first so it's not all glimmery. Screw her back in there, and then take it back out to check it. So you can see our oil level. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's right about here where it was before we ran the engine, and it looks good. So I'm going to put this guy back in the garage for another power outage day. Put him back on the float charger, and then I'm going to finish up the propane generator, and we'll call it a good day today. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you if you're changing your oil on your Champion power equipment generator.